Today's Words of Wisdom, interviews with Supreme Master Ching Hai by TV and radio host Judith Conrad, will be presented in English with subtitles in Arabic, Olaxese or Vietnamese, Chinese, Dutch, English, French, German, Hebrew, Hindi, Hungarian, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Mongolian, Persian, Polish, Portuguese, Punjabi, Romanian, Russian, Spanish, Thai, Turkish, and Urdu. More languages are available online. For your special language, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/subtitles. Throughout the year 1993, in response to the sincere longing of truth seekers, Supreme Master Ching Hai traveled around the world to share the good news about immediate enlightenment through the Kuan Yin method of meditation. Toward the end of that special year, during her sojourn in the United States, Supreme Master Ching Hai graciously accepted an invitation by American TV and radio talk show host Judith Conrad for discussions on vegetarianism and meditation. Ms. Conrad, now based in Eugene, Oregon, USA, is a longtime host of TV and radio programs encouraging personal and spiritual development. We now invite you to listen to interviews with Supreme Master Ching Hai by TV and radio host Judith Conrad, which was broadcast on December 27, 1993.
Supreme Master Ching Hai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit www.godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centers near you.
Intuition is going inside and finding that part of ourselves inside. And of course, the light is what we're talking about here. Light in awakening that part of ourselves. That's why many people have candles, especially around the holidays, especially when it's a time of celebration. You notice the birthday cake. They always put candles on it. It is a delight. And we are lightening up this world in what we're doing. So my guest today is Supreme Master Ching Hai. And so I'm going to interact with her as we begin the show. So welcome, Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Thank you.
And you have seen her on another one of our television programs. What we're here to do in this year 1994 is to lift the vibration, to be able to be more enlightened, more awakened, and that is finding out the delight in ourselves. Where is that delight within yourself? I challenge you for this year 1994 to find the light and then feel that delight inside of yourself. I know you're up for it. So let's go now to Supreme Master Ching Hai. Welcome. Okay, well, as we're talking about fear and letting go of the fear, could you tell us, just give us some comment about that? What comes up for you when we talk about that?
You see, fear is not always from within, as people most often blame us for it. Not only from within, but also from without. Yes. Because even the strongest man or the most spiritual person will experience fear sometimes due to the circumstances. Not necessarily fear for him or herself, but just the fearful circumstance, just to experience the atmosphere of that fear generates from other people or from the surrounding. Yes, that doesn't necessarily influence the enlightened state of an enlightened person.
Okay.
Therefore, if we have fear at all, we should not fear our fear.
Great.
Yes, just accept it, and whatever we can do to eliminate it or minimize it, we do it. If we can analyze it and think that the fear is not basic, then we can drop it easily. And if we cannot, then maybe it is influenced sometimes by the atmosphere of fear which surrounded us sometimes or all the times. Because this world is made up of fear. That's how the Maya, the queen, the king of illusion, control the world. And if we are not strong enough, then oftentimes we are swallowed by fear. That is the weapon that the king of illusion or the Maya tried to give to people, to make them feel that they're weak, that they cannot control their destiny, that they cannot make better of the future, etc., etc. So they give up the struggling of fighting for better future spirit. Therefore, we should know fear as it is, not try to reject it, and not try to even to blame ourselves for not being courageous, but try to see it as it is, and then think of the way to conquer it, or forget about it. We have fear, so what?
Right. One of the philosophies I have is about taking that pencil and simply dropping it and letting it go and get on with what we're here to do.
Okay, let me do it with the cup.
Okay.
Now, suppose I put the fear in this.
Right.
Transfer it in that and just drop it there. Would my fear go away?
Is that in your philosophy that it will go away?
Well, if it does, because we are clearer in our conscience, clearer, have a stronger belief in God, or we have access to a more potent wisdom in ourselves. Otherwise, if fear still exists, or still exists in some portion, it's okay. Just go on with what else you have to do, and the fear just have no place to stay.
In other words, you're filling your essence then with more positiveness, so that the fear doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, it just will go. Or it just stay in the corner trembling.
Right. That's so great. So away with you, fear monsters, fear tigers, out.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Maybe we leave him a corner, but that's all.
Just one small corner, right?
Well, it's kind of decoration also, why not?
Okay.
Yes.
So in the corner we'll put the fear tiger.
Yes.
Okay.
Some people grow roses, you know. Americans are familiar with roses.
Yes, they
Most of them have thorns. So
Yes.
what? We just enjoy the roses. I don't touch the thorns.
Right.
Yeah. Because without thorns, I think the rose will lose some of its, vigorous charm.
That's right. So life sometimes does have all of these thorns. It has some of the pricklies and some of the fears. So it's there.
We just wear gloves.
Just wear gloves. Okay. Now, one of the ways that you live your life is through meditation.
Yes.
And how long do you spend in meditation every day?
For the average person, of course, the more the better.
Right.
But because we don't have that much time in our society, so we suggested 1/10
1/10 of the day.
Our time, 24 hours. Yeah, we reserve 2.5 for ourselves. That means for God. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we sit in silence and communicate directly with the God power, with God's wisdom.
Right.
And then we get all the answers from that period of time and get all the energy and power we need for the whole day. And even left over for the next day, share it with a neighbor or whoever meet us.
Right.
Yes.
For those people who just tuned in, this is the Judith Conrad Show, and I am privileged to have as my guest Supreme Master Ching Hai, and we're talking about meditation. And my next question, I just always want to make sure that they know who they're listening to when they're going through the channels.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Sure.
So in the meditation, what is the difference between prayer and meditation?
Similar.
Very similar?
Except that in meditation, we don't ask so much as we listen. We just listen, we sit there, or maybe we chant some names of God, especially, some which is already charged by some spiritual master or someone who has this energy from God. You know what I mean? Connected already with God. Therefore, whatever he charges is from God power, not from his individual self. Mm-hmm. Yes. Then these names will be charged. And then when you repeat them, sometimes if your mind wander, then you probably repeat this God's name to bring your mind back.
Okay.
Or to protect your environmental energy, magnetic field. And you sit in silence. Yes, but it's more fruitful after the initiation, because after the initiation, the spiritual friend experienced in this field already connect you with the universal power. Therefore, when you sit still, you're filling up yourself. Otherwise, if you sit and you don't know what to do and where to concentrate,
right.
or if you're not connected with the water of life, then your cup is still empty.
Is there any kind of meditation or any type of information you can give to the people, because we have quite a bit of time left on the show, to be able to, if they cannot be initiated, and because the people are very hungry right now.
Yes.
Could you give that to the people who are watching the show?
Yes, they can try.
All right.
You see, but the principle is that we should also try to live an ethical life, according to the 5 principles. That not to hurt others and do to others what we would prefer others do to ourselves as much as possible. Yes.
Right.
And if you cannot bring happiness to people, try not to harm them, at least. Or animals also, yes. And also try to be vegetarian as much as possible. And this is serious.
Yes.
Because apart from all the health problems that the scientists have proved fatal to us through meat diet, there is another principle of life begets life. If we eat dead things, we are inviting to our body and spirit and mind the death itself. Yes. Therefore, it is better for us to eat living kind of vegetable. Because vegetable, even if you cut it and you plant it again, it still grows. But if you cut animal and plant it again, it will not live again.
That's right.
It's gone.
It's gone, yes.
And also animals, they have fear and anxiety and want of life and fear death. And if we take all this energy within ourselves, then we make ourselves unsettled. Yes.
So then what we're doing is we're taking that fear tiger out of the corner and we're putting it into our body.
Right.
Now I do still eat meat. I've noticed that
I'm sorry to offend.
That's no problem.
Because you asked me, I have to.
I'm so glad you did, and I'm noticing that as I'm doing this work, that I have less desire
to eat meat.
Right. And it's reducing and reducing and reducing. And so I just want to put that out to you out there, that as you become more awake, more in the light, and become delighted with yourself, that this is something that we would encourage you to notice that it's happening in your life.
Right.
And you are completely a vegetarian.
Yes.
Completely.
No egg even.
Not even the eggs. I would like to ask the question, why is the eggs eliminated?
Because if you're familiar with people call magic,
yes.
People, most of the magician. I mean, the real, is it magician?
The witches.
The witches.
Oh, black magic?
Not necessarily black magic, the magician. They use eggs sometimes, many times, to attract the possessive entity from other people's body. And sometimes they feed deceased spirit with eggs and all that. So we try to refrain from attracting them into our body by using eggs.
Okay.
Even infertile egg has also the potential of life.
Okay.
So it's, yes.
Most people don't even think about this. And so as you're looking at your own diet, think about that. Okay. So going back to the meditation that you would like to encourage you to share with us.
Yes. You see, the meditation, it will at least calm your mind. And then when you're truly sincere, it will bring you up into a higher dimension. And from the higher dimension, when you come back, you have less and less desire for some of the things that you discussed before.
Right.
Including meat, it would be easier to just leave it and live a healthy life without.
Great. Well, we're ready.
Especially for those who want to lose weight.
Yes, I know it.
Okay.
If we can just take that time to center in, the world gets a lot simpler.
Right.
It does. In my own work, when I'm running around, I just can't do it all unless I'm taking the time to center in, clear out all the energy.
Yes. Otherwise, even if you try to solve the problem, you cannot. But when you just quiet and sit, and then it just clear to you.
That's right.
It's just like when you're too busy, you don't know where things are. It's very logical. It takes sometimes 20 minutes to settle down the mind. So don't be impatient if you sit a little bit longer.
Right.
And if you eat a lot of meat and all kind of high animal protein, then please don't sit longer than half an hour. You will have some kind of side effect that's very unpleasant, please. So if you eat more vegetarian diet, it will be more calm, more peaceful for your energy and easier to concentrate, and you go a little bit higher because less burden. All right. Everything I tell you is what I know, and it's up to you to accept it or not. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, I don't know. We have about 5 minutes left to go on the program, and I want to thank you for giving them some of the. And again, the Americans love those techniques. We want to know logically, intellectually how to do this. So, okay, we do actually only have a couple minutes left, so we'll wind down now, and we do have another interview. I'm so excited that we're going to have her for one more interview. For those people who we piqued your interest and are interested in the meditation, I'm going to give that number again. It will be on the monitor. You can call the Meditation Center in San Francisco. I personally have experienced so much since Supreme Master Ching Hai has arrived in the area, and I'm spending a lot of time with her, as much time as I possibly can, getting on all my shows. The radio show in San Francisco on KEST 1450 AM, she will be on in several dates. You can call me to get the exact dates if you're interested in listening to her. We had great interviews. You'll hear her on just about every Monday and Friday on my radio program. Is there anything that you'd like to leave our wonderful audience with?
Love them and wish them all the best. That's good for them.
They are wonderful. They are. Can you feel their energy?
Yes, I feel it.
Whenever the camera is on, I always feel their energy coming back through to me. So we'll close this then, and to remind all of you that who you are makes a difference. Welcome, this is Judith Conrad, and this is the Judith Conrad Show. And on this show, we feature intuition as the ultimate tool for success. And again, my guest is Supreme Master Ching Hai. Remember, when I end the show, it's always, remember who you are makes a difference. The truth of who we are, I believe, will set us free. So I hope that helped you to answer some of the questions that you have. Welcome.
Thank you.
One of the themes that we have for today is, of course, the truth. And we're talking about choosing a path to higher understanding and truth. And it seems, if you notice, if you've been watching all three of these television programs, the word truth has been so important. And I feel that's very close to my purpose. So what is your purpose here on this earth?
I guess each one of us has a purpose. And the main purpose in our life is to search for the true being of ourselves, to see that we will have peace eternal, because we are too busy watching our actions and wanting the result from our actions, and trying to solve the problems from the leaves and not from the root.
Right.
So then we encounter with many frustration, difficulties, as well as disappointment.
Right.
So if we find the truth, which means the true being of ourselves, the greatest energy, the greatest intelligence in the whole universe, and that we will realize that we are one with all things, and that we have never been separated from God or Buddhahood, then we will never feel this frustration, fear, or resentment to the failure or unwanted success of the purpose of our life.
Now you mentioned Christ, you mentioned Buddha, you've talked about this in our other shows. Are you a follower of these, shall we say, philosophies?
Yes, also, yes. We are follow one philosophy or another, whether we are Christian or Buddhism. And once we get beyond the level of intellectual understanding, we will see that all these great masters actually taught only the same thing.
And that is about?
From within and without. From without, they taught us or teach us to be a perfect human being, to be good to neighbors, to keep the commandments, and to try to find what is greater than our physical life. And from within, they will use their power, which is the power of the universe, because they are connected with this greatest universal power. So they are one with it. So from within, they will use this power to lift us up into the higher mountaintop.
Right, right.
So that we can see very clearly what is laying around and why we have been so enmeshed in all these problems, which is so easy to see from the top.
So I would encourage you, the mountaintop is there. Get up out of the valleys where we are awash in all of our emotional things. Get up above and get up and so we can see what is above. And then as we do that, then we don't get caught up in that stuff down below, do we?
Right.
Okay. So it's the same truths that are coming through from Christ, from Buddha, from
all the masters.
All of the masters.
Yes.
Now, I noticed in your name you're called Supreme Master.
Yes, the people call me that.
The people call you, have given you this title. May I ask why they've given you this title?
Because they went into the higher dimension, and then they thought I'm the Supreme Master.
And are you the Supreme Master?
Because I'm one with the Supreme Master.
You are one with the Supreme Master.
And one of the logical reasons is that because we are all from the Supreme Father, so our surname should be Supreme.
So all of us are Supreme?
Yes. But many of us don't recognize that or forgot our origin. That's not our fault.
Okay.
So I'm here to try to remind you of your origin and try to prove to you in many ways your origin. And you will believe as soon as you see.
I like that. So again, to my audience, I am saying, you are the Supreme One. If you can remember that, and Supreme Master Ching Hai is here to remind you of that, to help you to remember. Is that correct? Right. To help you to remember. And since I've been with Supreme Master Ching Hai, there's a part of me that is awakened, that I am remembering now that yes, I am that Supreme Master. And I was getting close before.
I understand. Then
yes.
You lost it and you come back and lose it.
And now I feel like I'm getting much closer.
You will get more stabilized in this conviction and recognition after you have been reminding yourself each time through meditations and through the vision of the Supreme through your meditation.
Right.
Then you remember all the time.
Right. And I'm encouraging everyone, of course I ask this all the time, is to take some time during the day to sit in meditation. And perhaps you're standing and looking out at a beautiful horizon. I encourage you to do that because that's part of meditation too. Looking at the clouds, just thanking God for that wonderful cloud out there, that perhaps there's a message in that cloud.
Choose whatever way you like to.
So you're saying also in agreement that there are many ways of going into meditation.
Yes. It's just that because there are some ways quicker, shorter path, cut short path.
Right.
In some ways winding around the mountains. Yes.
So elevator to the top.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
It may cost a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean materially,
mm-hmm.
I don't mean money-wise, because we teach everything for free. And most of our information are free, except the tapes and all that are sold at cost. I mean,
mm-hmm.
at the empty tape costs same like that.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But mostly we give it free.
I'm noticing that since I have met the people in your organization. It's a meditation center, everything is free there, and So if you are interested, and I'm going to show you this book that perhaps you would like to have. This book is a sample booklet. It's a free copy. It has a picture of Supreme Master Ching Hai, and it is the key of immediate enlightenment. So this is a book that you perhaps would like to have for free. And if you would like to have this, you can call and ask for this to be put on the mailing list, or you can send a postcard to Post Office Box. And again, this is a wonderful book. I have underlined it, scored it, and this was about when you spoke at the United Nations. Now, I understand that you've had the opportunity to speak to the United Nations.
Yes.
Could you tell us about that experience?
3 times we have been there.
So wonderful.
Yes. And we have also a magazine every month, free for everyone.
Great.
It's color, very beautiful. Even I like it.
Even you like it? Would you say you're hard to please or easy to please?
Sometimes hard, sometimes easy.
Sometimes easy.
Like everyone else.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I'm enjoying having you here.
Thank
You
you.
please me.
Yes, I am pleased to have you too.
Right.
You're very joyful and positive and loving. And you love what you do.
I do.
And that's what I admire in people, when they love their job.
Mm-hmm. And what I feel I'm doing is I'm creating my ideal by going inside and saying, okay, now God, what is it you want me to do this day?
Do it. Right.
And just do it.
Yes, use me.
Yes,
That's
use
it.
me any way you can. And that's, again, the philosophy that we're experiencing with Supreme Master Ching Hai.
It's very egoless. It's easy to work without much ego. Or we use the ego, but not let the ego use us. We don't have to trample upon the ego by intellectual or physical means, but just to use it as a friend, as a tool.
Right? My friend, the ego.
To ride to our destination.
Right.
That the negative and positive can blend well together and work for our benefit.
Okay, so then the plus and the minus, the light and the dark. Last time we talked about the fear tiger, and this time we're talking about, the opposites. We can have these in each of our lives, and we recognize them for what they are.
Yes.
Perfect. Now, why is it that some people need to have accidents or tragedies in their life before they wake up?
Actually, we don't need that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, sometimes we have to reap what we sow in this life or past life, that we might have done harm to someone else. Then we just have to make it up for our conscience, for our subconscious.
Okay.
But in that time of misery, we often feel very lonely and fearsome. And even all the human efforts cannot help to ease that momentarily discomfort. So we turn to something. Deep down in our heart, we always believe that is greater than life. That is God power, or Buddha power, Christ power. We call them it by different names. But these different names don't make any difference, because whatever it is, it gives us comfort in these needy hours. And then we begin to be closer and closer to that. And we realize that it's only that we don't know what it is, but that is the permanent things that's more powerful than any of human effort can bring.
So if we could keep that going forever.
Yes, it would be nice.
Not just when we have this tragedy.
Right.
Oh, how wonderful it would be. And so I'm sure many of you have had tragedies there. You've lost loved ones, and it just feels like it's the end of the world.
Right.
And some of you even challenge God. Now, why did something like this happen?
Why did you do this to me? Yes.
Right. And so you're saying that much of this could be from then past life karma.
Yes. Connection with some other things, many things, yes.
Now, the word karma, we've talked about this on my show quite a bit, and almost every guest, if they mention the word, I always ask that they explain what it means to them. Could you give us an explanation what karma means?
Karma means the cause and retribution of every actions of our life.
Okay, so
In previous life.
in previous lifetime. Okay, now I have to ask, there has been recently an instance where a gentleman jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge and took his 2-year-old son with him. Now, is this karma for that little child? He's 2 years old.
Yes, it's karma.
For me, it felt like that too, that there was a completion now with that 2-year-old child?
Because a child is not only born this life.
Right.
And he just has to undergo what he has to undergo.
Mm-hmm.
But then we will continue again, next life, different body.
Mm-hmm.
And if that child or that man will not be awakened the next birth, they will probably, very likely, to repeat the cycle again. That's very sad tragedies.
Yes.
If we can see through past incarnation, we see many people just go around and doing similar things each of their life.
And within the same lifetime, they repeat. So as I'm experiencing myself, and of course I'm in this period of extreme awareness, I'm looking at what is happening, and I notice how my patterns continue to repeat and repeat. So as I stop this pattern, replace it with something else more positive, I have then broken that pattern, the karma, and I'm
right.
And that's one down for me. Right?
1 point for it.
1 point for
10
me.
point.
Well, 10 points for God. Okay. Well, that's perfect. I want to be on God's team. So.
But God is inside you.
He
If
is.
you put aside the ego, there's nothing else but God.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
We just try to take away his house.
We try to make it too complicated sometimes, too.
A small house and 2 persons. Me and God.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But me, who is me? When you think about it, who is me? Before you were born, you're nobody. And when after you're born, when you're baby, you're also nobody. You know nothing. And then as soon as you grow up, you have a name, and then you collect a lot of information, a lot of habits from different people, teacher, parents, neighbors, and friends. And then you identify yourself with all this knowledge and habits. That is you. That is the so-called you. Otherwise, what is you?
God only.
Yes.
So all this other stuff that we're carrying around, drop it.
Yes.
Okay, I
We
got
don't
it.
have to drop it.
I got it.
But we know this is only the outside.
10 more points for me.
That's for instant enlightenment.
You're right.
If you understand deeply something, that
Yes.
is enlightenment. But also when you see the light from God, that's also enlightenment. That helps very fast.
Okay, you're talking about the third eye. This is the wisdom eye, correct?
Yes.
I love the third eye. It's so deep, and when I go in my meditation, it's like I know all this. Judith Conrad doesn't know this.
Right. The brain doesn't know.
The brain doesn't know it.
The wisdom knows.
The wisdom knows. I call it the wise one in there.
Yes, right.
The wise one in there.
The real us. The God who resides in this temple.
Yes.
Which is described in the Bible.
And so when I say to you, the God within me recognizes the God within you, namaste.
Namaste.
Right. Okay. So for all of you out there, then I would say to you, namaste.
They are all God.
All of you, I recognize the God within you.
Not realized God.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet realized God.
Wake up. Right?
It's very easy to realize God.
And for those people who are saying, I'm just hearing them say, well, how?
Well, I have taught them the technique.
Okay.
If they're diligent with it, probably they get to know God or some portion.
Right.
And if they want to know deeper, then we offer the initiation, also free of every bondage and charge.
And so what is this initiation?
Initiation means the readiness of the soul,
Mm-hmm.
the real self who wants to push aside all the garbage information which called the self, the I,
The I.
ego, and to reveal itself to the self. So when the people are ready like that, at the time of initiation, the spiritual guide, the experienced friend, we help them just to push aside a little bit of obscurity, and they will see for themselves the light of God and hear for themselves, without ears, without eyes, without physical meaning, the essence of the teaching of God. It sounds like melodious vibration, but without any instrument, without any physical action or doing. Just sit in silence and be a recipient of this blessing from your great self.
For those people who just tuned into the show, this is the Judith Conrad Show. For people who are going through the channels, I always know that there are people who are just turning the television on. My guest is Supreme Master Ching Hai. And you do a lot of traveling throughout the year, is that correct?
People require my presence.
And you're going from place to place and giving initiation and talking to the people, coming on my radio program, my television program.
Yes, I'm invited, so I go there.
Perfect.
Everywhere I am invited, I go.
I want to put out the invitation for the next time you come.
Wow. Thank you.
Right here again. We'll be right back on the Judith Conrad Show.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Yes. We play well together.
Yes.
Right.
I think we work well.
Yes. And so for those people who would like to contact the meditation center, if you're interested in meditation, I harp on this all the time, but that's what my purpose is to help you to get that answer, the keys that are inside of you. I'm using that as the intent to bring forth symbolic pictures so that you can see what I'm telling you. Sometimes people want to see that.
Right, sure.
And so that's all it is.
Forms.
Right. It could be any of the tools that are available, and there are so many tools available.
Just like sometimes a teacher uses a book to explain a passage for me.
Right.
In order to expound the deeper meaning
right.
of knowledge.
So it's the symbol, it's the word. Now you talk about the word.
The word is the essence of our being.
Yes.
Which is God. Yes. Mm-hmm. So when we contact with the word or the sound, melodious vibration, we are back to our God self. Or we realize God, or we are one with God. Yes.
Okay.
But even that, it takes some more practice in order to convince ourselves that we are just that. We are God.
We are God. Okay. Well, I also want to mention that the San Francisco Mayor's Office has given you a Certificate of Merit for Public Service, and you've also received the International Peace Commendation and Honorary Citizenship in the United States from our government, the United States government. I want to say thank you to our government for this.
Well, I thank the government. And for this beautiful act of acknowledging the truth, the Americans people will reap a very rich harvest of honor and elevation in all ways, in all aspects. You
like the Americans, don't you?
I do.
Perfect.
The more I know them, the more I like them.
Great.
It's taken a while to know them, but they're truly wonderful. Straight, honest.
And so if you happen to be in Honolulu on the 25th of October, that is the day of the Supreme Master Ching Hai. That's an official holiday now. There's a bronze statue there in Honolulu. I'm going to see it.
Yes, they say they will put a statue in the public place. And 25th October is the day of Master Ching Hai.
All right.
It's very kind of the government. It's good for Americans.
Yes.
Good affinity.
Great, I'm glad. Well, like I said, if you happen to be in Honolulu, do find the statue and we'll let you know where that is if anyone is going there. Okay, well, is there anything that you'd like to say in closing? I think we're just about ready to close the show. And anything you'd like to give to our audience?
I'm just speechless. I'm listening to you, I'm speechless. Well, all my love to you, and everything that is best for you, I wish you will have it. God will take care of you, the American people.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Aloha. Yes. And so we're closing now the show that we've had with Supreme Master Ching Hai. There have been many words of wisdom that have come through here. If they apply to you, I encourage you to use them in any way you can. So again, I want to remind each and every one of you that who you are makes a difference.
Supreme Master Ching Hai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit www.godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centers near you.
Thank you for your presence for today's episode of Words of Wisdom. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for a journey through aesthetic realms, coming up next after noteworthy news. May your life be graced with spiritual wisdom and upliftment.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/WOW.